to enjoy life. We have one shot at it, man, and I don't want to be disconnected and living in the shadows. I want some sun to shine on me, and I want to run forward and say, hell yeah, what can I do to live my best damn life? And again, my life, not according to the agendas and standards of everybody else that leaves them in chaos and midlife crisis. What's going on, gentlemen? It's another day to overturn another stone within ourselves so that we can begin to see things for what they are. How many of us have ever felt just disconnected from life? It's as if we're going through the motions, walking through life with this numbness. We really can't decipher what's real, what's not real. This is the Better Man channel, where we choose to connect. We're no longer going to be disconnected from reality. We're no longer going to be disconnected from truth. We're no longer going to be disconnected from our true nature, that of man. When life and its harshness stares into us as it will, we choose to stare back with these unflinching, unblinking eyes, knowing that we are fully capable of kicking despair, hopelessness, the numbness ass. And so we live in a world today, man, where it's easy to become disconnected. You look at the chaos around you, there's just this upside down mentality where everybody's searching for something but not exactly knowing what it is. And you can get caught up in that whirlwind for a while. I think many of us do. We chase that new shiny object and we find some pleasure in it for a moment, that temporary dopamine fix, but then we're like, yeah. And so it's easy to disconnect from the chaos that so many people are getting caught up in. And I think many a man finds themselves in that state today. And it's easy just to numb ourselves with something that's going to remove all the chaos and that's going to give us that steadiness, that dependability that we're all looking for. And so we find ourselves in this state of numbness, and there's many variables to that. I'm dealt with addiction. You know, I've numbed pain and numbed loss and numbed not wanting to deal with things, numbed myself by that disconnection of substance abuse. You can do it through gaming. You can do it through relationships. You can do it through 15 hours of meaningless Netflix binge watching. Whatever. We all have those things that we turn to help numb us, to help deliver us from the ignorance of the world, to help us kind of navigate away from that course that's leading everybody over the cliff to their death. And so at first, yeah, it seems like an admirable trait to disconnect from reality and try to catch your breath. But just like the addict, man, and I like using that example because it's easy to see in the life of addiction. When you're constantly numbing yourself, you're actually losing ownership over your life. You're surrendering the right to take authority, to take responsibility. And again, it's easy to see that in the life of an addict. They're like, God, that dude is out of control, can't control his life, has no grip on reality. He's lost. And for the guy caught up in the gaming, spending 15 hours in gaming, for those guys lost in those toxic relationships where they're just getting abused, mistreated, and pushed to the side, it's not so easy to see because we're trying to numb something and we can still function in life, right? That's the key there. An addict, it's hard for them to function, right? They're lowing down. They can't keep a job. They can't keep relationships. They're broke down and homeless and lost. So it's easy to point that out. Now, the gamer, the guy caught in the relationships, the guy watching 15 hours of Netflix, the person overeating, just abusing his body. It's not so hard to say there's something wrong with them. You know, on the surface level, they can still keep a job, they can still function, but they're still numb. They're disconnected from reality. They're disconnected from what can be. And we find ourselves in that position where we've disconnected, we've taken a step back, we're saying no to life. We are rejecting life. And rightfully so, because a lot of times the world that we're wanting to reject not adding up to our standards. So we say, no, thank you. And I believe all men, all people need to take a step back and go into that isolated state, that state of solitude where they can self-reflect and have that introspective, that viewpoint where they say, okay, the world's not lining up to what I want, to who I am, to my standards. It's not making sense. And there is a period where we do have to disconnect from that so we can gain perspective. But as a man with the responsibility, man, to thrive, to dominate life, to say yes to life in all its harshness and all its goodness and all its badness and all its ways, we can't stay disconnected forever, because that leaves us in this nihilistic bitterness, resentment, not living up to our full potential to be that badass man, to enjoy life. We have one shot at it, man, and I don't want to be disconnected and living in the shadows. I want some sun to shine on me, and I want to run forward and say, hell yeah, what can I do to live my best damn life? And again, my life, not according to the agendas and standards of everybody else that leaves them in chaos and midlife crisis. I want to live my life. And so we have to have that mindset that I'm going to connect back into something. I'm going to say yes to life according to my standards. I went this way for so long. I flowed with the masses, and it's led me to flowing over the cliff to my death, my demise, my numbness. I no longer want to be that numb person that says no to life and just goes through the motions. And it reminds me of Nietzsche. You know, I'm a big fan of Nietzsche, and he's got this idea of this Ubermensch, which can be interpreted into Superman or Overman, right? This man that's overcoming self, this man that seeks the will to power to become the best man he can. He says yes to all things. He says yes to life in its harshness, in its badness, in its trials, knowing that makes him a better person. He doesn't depend upon anyone else. Therefore, when things go bad, he's not disconnected. He moves forward saying, what can I do to become a better version? What can I do to kick ass physically? What can I do to kick ass intellectually? What can I do to kick ass spiritually? What can I do to kick ass morally? This man depends upon no one. He lives his best life because he knows he has one shot at it, man. And the good things come, hell yeah. Bad things come, hell yeah. Because bad things are inevitably going to be stacked against us at different periods of our life. So why not make those an opportunity to become stronger, to become more able, to become more capable? He's never numbed by life because he's saying yes to it. He has this Dionysian spirit that drinks from the cup of life, that drinks the grapes, that drinks the wine, that has a passion for enjoying life in all forms. He says every day is a beautiful opportunity to do something more. And he's not going with the crowd. He's not becoming more for anyone else necessarily. If that pours over into other people's lives, awesome. But he's owning his own life, living his own damn life. There's no numbness in that, because life, and with all its vitality, life with it's God, that just eternal natural flow. That's something he looks forward to every day. Pains, gain, loss, triumphs, victories, defeats, whatever you, enjoys it because he knows that's part of life. What the hell am I going to do laying in the couch in bed all day watching Netflix when I could be out there accomplishing something? And again, we go through trauma. You know, we have anxieties and worries. There's depression. There's these different states that are justifiable from the realities of the world. But instead of lying in that misery, we have to get up. There comes a point when we have to remove that numb mentality that depends upon someone else to make our life good. Think about that for a minute. Depending upon someone else to make your life good, depending upon someone else to bring the right circumstances into your life before you can enjoy it, that's a weak mindset. And we've all been caught up in that. It's easy, especially in the culture that's coddled us into this. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's all right. And it comes to a point where it's not. Our world gets flipped over and we're like, damn it. That's not how it really is. And we turn to the other things that are going to numb us. We become these disassociated, numb and dumb men that are not taking ownership of our life in the way that we could be. And there is this innate nature, and we know it. Every man knows it. We felt it at one point or another. There is something more, and I'm capable of more. And instead of turning a back to life and rejecting it because we've accepted the harshness is the only thing that we can accomplish, that we've accepted that harshness is always going to overtake us, let's remove that mentality. Let's adopt a mindset. Let's adopt a narrative that's created from us and begin to say, you know what? I'm going to be that overman that strives for better. I'm going to overcome. I'm going to be better. I'm going to get up today and do something that I enjoy. I'm going to do something that makes me better. I'm not going to numb myself and stay disconnected from a world that I should be owning, that I should be dominating. I should be expanding and extending my life instead of contracting into this isolated man that's bitter and resentful at the harshness of life. In order for us to overcome the numbing addictions that at the end of the day leave us wanting more, it's time for us to get up, say yes to life, to become that man that overcomes things, to become that man that looks at things as true opportunities to become better and stronger. Because the rest of the world, they're weak, man. And when life slaps them in the face, they're going to lie down and cry because they're not ready to overcome that. They're going to be looking for the next numbing, shiny object that those up top would sell them. If we want a better life, we make a better life. If we want a stronger body, we make a stronger body. If we want stronger relationships, we make stronger relationships. We don't pass the buck. We accept it, and we accept our life. We become that overman, Ubermensch that Nietzsche talks about. We wake up every day and know, damn it, it may not be the best day on the external, but in the internal, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to become a better man. I'm going to become a badass because that's what I was created to be. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.